On this show, we are never afraid to examine the insights and ramifications of leftist theory, because there's only so many times we can watch the movie Sausage Party and we need a good laugh. Today, we'd like to take a look at the theory of systemic racism, the left's attempt to explain why American blacks fail to thrive, even though Democrats have done everything they can to destroy them. To begin with, let's use the term in context. Let's say you're a sleazy Democrat conwoman who's the president of the American Federation of Teachers, only not named Randy Weingarten because we don't want to get sued. And this low grifter, let's call her Wendy Ramsbottom, uses her sinister control of the Democrat Party to keep schools closed for 2 years so her teachers get paid while poor children sink into incurable ignorance. Now, whiny Garfinkel has created a situation where many black children, who weren't getting much of an education from Barfy Weinfartel anyway, can't read or write, so employers won't hire them, and the only job they can get is starting fistfights at McDonald's. Systemic racism occurs when employers privilege reading and writing, because that's what rich white people do because they don't go to schools controlled by low sleazy Democrats like Farty Weincandy. So, how exactly is systemic racism defined? Well, let's take each word in turn. Racism is a meaningless noise you scream in a harsh, repetitive voice that sounds something like a seagull being chased by a jackhammer. And systemic is a multisyllabic nonsense meant to make the screeching seagull noise sound like it means something. Put the two words together, and systemic racism means someone has noticed that Democrats have destroyed the lives of black people, and you have to drown them out by screaming systemic racism. Now, here's what makes the theory of systemic racism so much fun. Once Democrat unions have abandoned public education in black neighborhoods, once you've installed Democrat welfare programs that encourage fatherless children among the poor, once Democrats have taught black people to feel that everyone is against them and they have no chance of success, once Democrats have defunded the police so that criminals can terrorize black neighborhoods which have been destroyed by riots incited by Democrats, just about everything Republicans do is systemic racism. Here are some examples, and as God is my witness, every single one of these is a real example from a left-leaning news source. The Philadelphia Inquirer says picnics are racist because white Democrats used to have picnics at lynchings. Personally, I think the Inquirer may have missed the actual racist part, namely the lynchings. Seems to me you could have picnics with, sack races instead. But then maybe that would go against an old Democrat tradition, namely lynchings. The Los Angeles Times says white people driving cars is racist because white drivers pollute the neighborhoods they drive through, but don't stop to buy things in the black neighborhoods because there's high crime there, because Democrats have abandoned the schools and defunded the police. So white drivers are racist. The Democrat California State Assembly says Skittles and jelly beans are racist because candy is bad for you, and many black people eat it to get a little sugary pleasure in their lives, which have been destroyed by Democrats. Mother Jones says that eating 3 meals a day is racist because colonial settlers ate 3 meals a day, but indigenous natives kept a less rigid eating schedule. And so the colonial settlers associated less rigid eating schedules with living in mud huts and being conquered by colonial settlers. And finally, Afro Magazine says coffee is racist because coffee used to be harvested by slaves. Okay, they kind of have me there because I don't care as long as I get my damn coffee. As you can see, systemic racism is all around us, like fairies or those invisible aliens who send messages into your brain telling you Jesus is coming back, so you should sell everything you own and move into the desert. Only by being illiterate and skipping lunch can we break the chains that hold black people down in Democrat-run cities where there's no education or police. After all, if we can't end systemic racism by giving up jelly beans and picnics, it's just really, really hard to imagine what possible solution there could be to dysfunction in black neighborhoods caused by Democrat policies. Give me a few seconds and maybe I'll think of something. For more great content, like and subscribe, and please subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.